So in order to get started with the project, we need a square. So I'm going to take a regular piece of paper. It could be a notebook piece of paper or construction paper, whatever you have. And I'm going to fold a corner over to kind of make it look like a paper airplane. And then I'm going to cut that rectangle off of the end. I'm cutting right up against that edge of the paper. And that's how you create a perfect square. Now I'm ready to get started with my project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using the letters of my name. And just to demonstrate this, I'm just going to write out the letters your name because I want to make sure that I get each one of those letters. Now if you notice, some of the letters I'm adding are lower and some are upper. It really does not matter. Also, you could include your nickname instead. And if you would like to, you could include your age or maybe your sports number, whatever you'd like. Now, once we start adding the letters, we are going to be adding them in different places. So you're not going to be able to necessarily tell that it's your name. So we're going to start in the middle of the paper and we're going to add with pencil. Later on, we'll use Sharpie. I'm using pen just so you can see. We're going to add the first letter. Then we're going to turn the paper. We're going to add the second letter. We're going to turn the paper. And by turning the paper and adding these letters, some of them touching the edge, some of them touching another letter, we are creating balance because we're trying to use all of the space on our paper so that we don't have big chunks of nothing. Notice again, some of my letters are uppercase, some are lowercase. And then eventually, if I want to add my age or my number, I can add it in there somewhere. You're going to get to the point where your letters are not really recognizable. Instead, those letters are turning into lines that create spaces. You can also use some of the lines from your letters to create other letters. Now, once I have finished with all my letters and added my number, if that's what I wanted to do, I have lines that are just hanging out in space and they're not touching other lines. So as you can see, I'm going to every line that is not touching another line and I'm extending it. Then I'm looking at the big spaces and I'm adding extra lines to divide those spaces. Now, you're going to be adding color in all of those areas, so you don't want to add too many lines, but you do want to create that sense of balance and you want to make those lines stop when they get to another line. Now I'm adding Sharpie to all of my pencil marks. If you don't have a Sharpie, you can just use a black marker. That is totally fine. Once you're done, you're going to erase all of your pencil marks.